Okay, now this topic, that is outsourcing. Now it is one of the most interesting topic that we can discuss over all this management subject, that is to tell it could be the entrepreneurship, or it could be business environment, or any other subject. Now outsourcing is one of the topic which grabs too much of your interest. So what is this outsourcing? What do we actually do in outsource? Now, before we go into that topic, you might have seen that in your own smartphones. Now, some of the parts of your phones, it would have been manufactured from some of the different places in the world. That is to tell, your manufacturer might be there in one place, and it might have written as designed somewhere else. Now, all these are nothing but how outsourcing works. Now, because of the development in transportation, because of the development in technology especially, outsourcing has proven one of the best things that has happened in the businesses, making them more efficient and less cost effective. Okay, that is to tell, when you have outsourcing in your hand for your business, you can especially concentrate on the key areas of your business, and outside all those aspects of your business which can be handled by a third person. That is to tell, now take into consideration one of the leading legal service rendering company. Now what is a legal company? Legal company is all into this rules, laws, regulations, the court, the property, anything that is concerned with the legislation. Now these company, their main aspects would be those, into into the process of their clients, what the clients needs, their problems, solving theirs. That is the main business that they would be doing. But in a company will also be having the things such as, it would want its own financial department, it will have its own necessary for its own human resource department, it will have the necessity for its marketing department. Now, this consultation or this firm, it might be just a group of 10 people. Now, 10 people, especially who are professionalized in the legal aspects. But then what about the other things, that is finance, that is HR, for some other work that has to happen in the company? Now, to manage all those things, it might become problem. But then you have the solution for this. That is, you can also outsource them. That is, you can hire a third party and you can ask them to do all those things for your company. That is called as outsourcing. Now, outsourcing can be in any part of your business. It can be finance, it can be marketing, it can be distribution, it can be production of different parts of the products that you are going to produce, and it can be in any other aspects. The main you think the main thing that you have to see is the outsourcing should be less costly than the in-house production of those. Now, if it can serve that, most of the times things shall be outsourced. But it does not mean that only the cost is something which matters. Now, there are a lot of aspects to this. Each one of them we shall see. Now, to speak in very simple words, outsourcing is where another firm's employees They carry out tasks previously which has been performed by one's own employees. That is called as outsourcing. Now you can see in the slide. Now for that example, take into consideration, maybe your company is in South America, but then there are many aspects of the business which can be outsourced. It can be outsourced to Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, North America. Basically here they have spoken about the different continents, but the idea behind showing that is the same. It is like you can distribute the work to any part of the world and get things done for your company. So that is outsourcing in a nutshell. So this outsourcing, it is a business practice in which the services, okay, or the job functions, they are, you know, farmed out to a third party or given to a third party. Especially you can see this in information technology. Now in information technology, an outsourcing is the initiative with a technology provider can involve a range of operations. Maybe as basis from the entirely of the IT functions to discrete and up until easily defined components such as disaster recovery, network service, software development, or even QA testing. So these companies they may choose to outsource IT services onshore, nearshore, or offshore. So what is this? That is to tell, outsourcing is not only done within the country. It can be even near shore and offshore. Now onshore is within the boundaries of the country, near shore is nothing but to neighboring country or one in the same time zone, and offshore is to a more distant country. So this near shore and offshoring outsourcing have traditionally been purchased to save cost. So this outsourcing now is one of the most discussed topics when it comes to our country or when in the context of India. Okay. Now speaking about outsourcing in India, it was not formally identified as a business strategy, especially until 1989. So the organizations which were not totally self-sufficient, they outsourced those functions for which they had no competency internally, or which were, or especially those things which they were unable to do. Now all such things they used to outsource initially. So in the 1990s, as the organizations they began to focus more on cost saving measures, they started to outsource all those functions which are necessary to run a company but not related specifically to the core business. Now almost every organization they outsource in some way or the other. The outside firms that are providing the outsourcing service are third party providers or called as service providers. Now currently outsourcing takes many forms. You might have heard. The most common one that you hear is BPO, that is business process outsourcing. Then you have ITO, or the information technology outsourcing. So this ITO is a company's outsourcing of computer or internet related work. And when you tell BPO or business processing outsourcing, it is the outsourcing of the work that does not require much of the technical skills. So the most common ITO services are application development and maintenance, or infrastructure management, maybe help desk, or independent testing and validation, or data center management, or manage security and cloud computing, etc. Now, these are some of the examples for normally what is outsourced under information technology outsourcing. Now, for BPO services or BPO outsourcing can be payroll, human resource, or even accounting. So, as you can see, if I have to give a definition, it can be as such a simple definition which has been put up in your slide. That outsourcing is using another firm's employees, or it is a situation where another firm's employees they carry out tasks for the company which previously was being performed by the company's own employees. That is to tell, this outsourcing, you know, it is a practice in which an individual or company performs tasks. It provides services or manufactures products for another company functions that could have been or is usually done in-house. Now, outsourcing, it is typically used by companies to save costs. So, this outsourcing, if you have observed, it is one of the common trend in information technology and some of the industries related to it. So, business outsource for services that are seen as intrinsic to managing a business and serving internal as well as external customers. Now, products such as computer parts and services, such as payroll and booking, they can be easily outsourced. Sometimes the entire information management of a company can also be outsourced, including planning and business analysis as well as installation, management and servicing of the network and workstations. Now, in addition to some of the things that we discussed, saving on overhead and labor cost. Now, the reasons companies employ outsourcing, it also include improved efficiency, greater productivity, and the opportunity to focus core products and functions of the business. Furthermore, more and more companies they are looking to outsourcing providers, especially as innovation centers. So, according to Deloitte's 2016 outsourcing survey, 35% of respondents they have said that they are focused on measuring innovation value in their outsourcing partnership. Now the reasons could be strategic restructuring of companies, or especially that they're revisiting their modus operandi. That is to tell modus operandi means operational model or the basic operation of the company. So this strategic restructuring companies, they do this because they'll have to evaluate business operations, especially to look at ways to restructure and make business units more efficient. Now, outsourcing should be considered as one alternative which, if implemented effectively, will play a key role in helping business attain higher cost efficiencies. So what are the causes for outsourcing? Now companies, they make variety of products for which they do not have all the resources, or they might not have all the talent in the company to complete them or to compete them from competitions or even to complete their final product. Now from here the concept of outsourcing comes into play. So this is where in today's severe competing business world, such companies which cannot complete their final product or which cannot compete with their competitors, they are forced to outsource. On the other hand, hiring others to do particular job, it also reduces the load and stress of the primary agent as well as ensures quality work by specialists in a given field. Now, since these specialists are focusing on a particular aspect of the business, the quality of the product is sure to increase. And all companies are happily satisfied by their business needs and desires. So today is a more strategic decision. So to reduce and control operating costs, improve company focus and access world-class capabilities and freeing internal resources for other purposes. So you can see on the slide that main reasons why normally companies would outsource. And 36% of the people respondent they tell that they mainly outsource because they want to reduce costs. In the same way, 36 percentage of the respondent they have said that they outsource because they'll have to focus on the core business area. Now, the one example that we took of a legal company is the best example there. Now there is 31% or 13% of respondents who have said that they outsource mainly because to increase the quality of their product. That is to tell, you might be able to produce all these things in-house, but the quality might not be good enough. So to serve this purpose, they have outsourced. Now 10% of the respondents they have said that they outsource to increase the speed to market or increase the time of the production. And 4% they have said to foster innovation, and 1% of the respondent they have said that they do this to conserve capital. Now this particular source has been taken from Outsourcing World Summit, which was published in the year 2001. So that is a data which was before 2 decades. Now things might have seriously changed. Yes. So now we shall see the impact of outsourcing. Uh, Now the impact of outsourcing on any economy, it has become very important. However, there are few people who are really interested or consider the impact of outsourcing on the society. Now one can notice and observe the change brought by the outsourcing services and institutions, especially in the Indian society. Now it can be both beneficial as well as harmful to the society. Now as a positive effect, we can say that outsourcing industry has improved Indian economy primarily by employing a large number of people and building and maintenance of infrastructure. Now in outsourced project, the people in India get opportunities to know and work in multinational corporations. Now even a good percentage of women workforce employed in the outsourcing companies. So the role of women has constantly changed. Now they can better take care of their finance and also their career. On the other hand, we also are losing on several cultural and traditional benefits. The outsourcing companies and projects they emphasize on the foreign cultural values from where the original project has been outsourced. The holidays or day-to-day dealings, the work culture, their great importance on the social norms that are not part of our system. For that matter, for any system it is the same. So we are slowly adapting to all these changes unknowingly, by accepting the dominant culture. So we need to be careful of the depletion of our own value system and customs. Now, being the world's second highly populated country, human resource is a boon by itself to our country. So, now India is definitely proud of the abundance and easily availability of its high qualified and technically skilled professionals who are keys to success in different fields, including information technology to our country. And if we observe, uh, our country people or Indians, they are very innovative to adopt new technology and circumstances quickly. Now, there are many positive effects of outsourcing to India. It could be increasing the scope of employment and creation of new better paying jobs that are helpful for employees in the long run. Now improvement in the standard of living of the people, availability of better and quality services at low cost. And this helps in globalization and companies can manage the pressure that comes along with globalization. It reduces overheads and the company gets to focus and concentrate more on its core task. Now you see it has been put up in the slide. The advantages being cost saving, avoiding government regulations and improved management of outsourced function. Whereas disadvantage could be requires constant oversight, there could be security risk and there can be negative public relation impact. Now, I have said from the Indian perspective. Now there are some of you who come from a different economy, a different country. You can also put a point as to how outsourcing is helpful for your country and also you can speak about if there are any problems because outsourcing in your particular country. The class is always open for discussion. You need only to inform me before and we can have discussion on those topics. So the next question that we can see is why we have to outsource to, particularly keeping in mind India. Now, in recent years, 80% of European and United States outsourcing firms ranked India as their number one outsourcing destination. Now, even though many other countries like Mexico, China, Ireland, and the Philippines have emerged as major competitors, we have something called as the National Association of Software and Service Companies or NASSCOM. It also reported that almost half of all the Fortune 500 companies they choose to outsource software development to Indian outsourcing firms. Now, business process outsourcing role in India's economic growth is making a significant impact now. So the driving forces for the increase in foreign investment through the BPOs in India are, like quality products, skilled sets and workers, cost effectiveness, quick turnaround time, and assured data security. Now you can see over the slide that India is the number one outsourcing destination in the world and has been consecutively for the past 15 years. Now it is the second largest English speaking population in the world. Now 50% of the Fortune 500 company outsource their IT development to India alone. All round talent example, number one BPO, KPO, LPO software engineering, research and development and product development outsourcing destination in the world. So what is BPO? I have said that is business processing unit. KPO is nothing but knowledge processing outsourcing, and LPO it is legal process outsourcing. Now, why did we speak from Indian perspective? Is because your college does belongs to this country, and that is why a part of syllabus will have to speak how outsourcing is helpful for Indian economy. Now, what has been put up in the left side of your slide is the benefits or why is that we'll have to outsource to India. First one is it is a cost cutting tool. It enables to focus on core business. It solves capacity issues. It enhances service quality, and it becomes critical to business needs. Because of outsourcing, access to intellectual capital is possible. It helps manage business environment, and also it able to drives broad transformational changes. So these are some of the